The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast. With us today, we have Chris Molenaar. He's a team leader at Team Sask, brokered by eXp Realty, and operates as a top producer in Saskatoon. Join us as Chris tells his story from humble beginnings and patience straight to success and icon level. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks for having me on. This is exciting.
Perfect. And you're calling us from Saskatoon, Canada. Is that correct?
Yes, I am in the middle of nowhere, Canada, for those of you guys that don't know where that is.
Great. Sounds exciting.
Yes.
So tell me, Chris, we kickstart this episode with your real estate journey. So do tell.
Oh man, funny thing is, I come from a trades family, and I was the black sheep in the family. I have 4 siblings. My dad is a millwright. My brother is an automotive mechanic. My other brother is a plumber pipe fitter, and my other brother is an equipment operator. And I'm the only one that didn't want to use tools ever growing up, no interest. Although I was the first after graduation to get my trades ticket because I didn't know where else to turn early in my life. But I moved 10 hours, 11 hours away from home, which I grew up in the Rocky Mountains. I moved to the prairies. And as a 19-year-old kid, I got my trades ticket. And from that point, I moved on from that because I got out of the trade as fast as I got in, as soon as I had my Red Seal journeyman ticket. But then I got into real estate, and I didn't know anybody when I got started. I didn't own a single collared shirt. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to communicate. I was super shy. And so it was humble beginnings, and my dad lives in a mobile home. My mom's on welfare. So it's just constantly a mindset shift along the way too. But I always say that it might take me a little bit longer to learn things, but I can learn anything that I set my mind to. And by the time I learn it, I know it well enough to turn around and teach it, which is actually turning out to be an exceptional asset here at eXp and as well in real estate. So when I started, I didn't sell a house for 6 months. And then the 7th month, I sold a house. The 8th month, I didn't sell a house. So I was 1 house in 8 months. I was buried in debt. But then 3 months following, I sold 5 months. I sold 5 houses per month the following 3 months. And I've basically done that production more or less year over year. So I did 19 transactions in my first calendar year in real estate. And then I did 39 transactions the next year, 55 transactions the next year. And last year, I believe I did, this is my 10th year in real estate now. Last year, I think I did 75 transactions. But what's more exciting than that is prior to joining eXp, I felt like I was at a little bit of a plateau. I couldn't outgrow the traditional real estate structure without taking on tens of thousands of dollars in overhead to build a team, or hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt or cash to start a franchise, or climb the uphill mountain of building an independent brokerage. And as well, I also didn't want to work 80, 90-hour weeks in order to do more and to grow. So I joined eXp. The first 2 years at eXp, I earned $16,000 stock award both years. And I'm pushing real hard to make sure that I hit icon this 3rd year in eXp. But what's really cool is 10 hours a week part-time for the first 2 years. I talked to agents about eXp. And over that period of time, I think there was about 10 agents that decided to partner with me at eXp. And I had a total group of about 32 agents. The following 6 months, is just over 2.5 years now. The following 6 months, it's more than doubled. As of today, there's 68 of us in our group, and there's 7 onboarding currently. So it'll be, which to me is it's absolutely, hard to even wrap your head around, when you come from, a certain place also from the mindset of a solo agent. You're kind of like, that's where I hang my hat. How many agents do you see in this business that, you know, they're in their 70s or 80s selling houses because they have to, not because they want to. And you know, I just find that the opportunities we have here at EXP are really exciting. I can say every single one of those agents on my team are more excited about their real estate career than they ever have been before. Many of them sell more houses than I do. Many of them have been in the business for much longer than I have. So it's humbling again, but also inspiring. It's a lot of fun. So I don't know if that kind of gives you a bit of a perspective into my journey to a certain extent, but
no, it gives, and it's good to see that your agents, even if they're in the middle of nowhere in Canada, right, they can be excited about something.
well, and you know what, honestly, the fact that you mentioned that, it's proof that this business model works no matter where you are. Literally, you know, we're in the middle of nowhere, Canada. And why I say that, we're at decent, Saskatoon's a good sized city. It's 230,000 people, but Saskatchewan is twice the size of Texas. And our total population is, I think, 1 million people, somewhere close to that. So to give you an idea, you know, Calgary is the closest, or Edmonton is the closest big center, and it's 5-6 hour drive.
Yeah.
So anyways.
I think people have to Google a bit about that, but they will do that in their own time. But right. Yeah, I like when you talked about tools, that all your brothers work with tools and you don't. I guess like in some way you work with some tools, right? With sales tools and marketing tools. They're just not ones you can hurt people with.
Yes.
And yeah, about the trans. So you closed the last year with 75 transactions, right? And in the first 6 months you had 0. Can you tell like what different did it happen, or did you do before those 6 months and that 7th month that you had one transaction? Was it pure luck? Was it like an occasion, or did you make something different?
You know, it's funny that you asked that, because those 6 months I was still working 12-hour days, the same as any other realtor was, probably 6 days a week. And and I feel like what I say, I learn everything the hard way. So by the time, or it just seems to be hard for me to learn for whatever reason, or at least it was. That was a big learning curve for me when I started in real estate. And I didn't have the training and mentorship that we have here available at EXP, right? You know, I paid dearly for, you know, coaching and mentorship, but it wasn't hands-on support showing you the ropes. It was basically, you know, show up and fill in this worksheet kind of thing. And so, you know, I finally had a breakthrough, but what it was is it was just me following the process of the sales system and getting good at this piece, but I wasn't good at this piece yet. And then I got good at this piece, and then I wasn't good at this piece yet. So it was 6 months of all of that, but I wasn't good enough yet at getting the signatures or asking for the sale. It was like, that was the missing piece. And for whatever reason, on month 7, that's when it fell into place. But also, because I'd worked so hard for 6 months, my sales pipeline was full, so that once I sort of caught on to that, that's why it was like a floodgates of deals just started piling up. And then it was just a matter of staying consistent, you know, keeping in touch with people, talking to people, that type of thing.
Nice. And Chris, you seem to be betting hard nowadays on your TikTok efforts, right? Can you tell us a bit why you decided to take that approach?
Yeah, a couple of reasons. Number one, I wanted to find a way to market myself that was a little bit unique, but at the same time, something that's super easily duplicatable. Everything that I want to learn, I want it to be easily duplicatable. So TikTok is probably the easiest to use video editing app that I've ever experienced. And if you watch me on TikTok, the format of how I set up my videos could not be more simple. I literally just sit in the same spot and talk for 30 to 60 seconds about something in real estate. And I record probably 20 videos in one sitting. So you'll see me over a 10-day period posting twice a day with the same shirt on.
Oh, I thought you always wear the same shirt every day.
Well, that's just it. But see, here's the beautiful thing is that people think to create content, but it's just like I sit there for an hour and create a month's worth of content. It doesn't have to be totally time consuming. And that's the main reason why, is that I wanted to be able to create it on TikTok, and then I blast it out to all my platforms. I blast it out to Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook personal profile, Facebook business profile, LinkedIn, on it goes, and as well on TikTok. So I just found that it's the easiest way to create content. And then you do get a unique audience on TikTok as well. And again, because we're in a small market, I don't think there's enough people locally on TikTok for me to use it as a source of lead generation. But it's a great source of building an additional audience. I meet a lot of realtors on there. But it's a great way to I guess be ahead of the curve in some sense. You know, once there is more of a market here locally on TikTok, I'll already be established. But at the same time, it's a great place to create content to then blast it out to all the other platforms.
Yeah, for sure. And it might not be too big of an area to do lead generation, but at the same time, there's also not much competition in terms of content creation. So here you are, like if it then becomes an area where TikTok is booming, you'll be one of the top of minds, right?
Well, and another note on TikTok too, another reason why I do the platform that I do is because I want whatever strategy that I use to be something that my agent partners could easily use, especially if they're newer. And so it's like, when you first get onto TikTok, you're like, oh my God, everybody is talented and funny and good looking and great on video and creative with video editing. And there's so much talent on TikTok, there honestly is, and so much entertainment and engagement. But the truth of it is, you're not always looking to go viral. You're looking to create relationships. It's like, it doesn't matter if you have 30,000 or 130,000 or 330,000 followers. What it comes down to is that how many people are you engaging with that you could potentially do business with? That's the most important part. It's not about being a big influencer. It's about creating relationships. The same as what we're doing here, you know, on Zoom, creating relationships, having conversations. You know, it's not belly to belly, but it kind of is virtually. You're using online platforms to leverage, you know, your reach into building relationships and doing it quicker.
And here at the podcast, we like to pin down like really the A to Z. So like, what results are you actually getting from the TikTok, if you're getting any, or what do you expect from it in the future?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why I use TikTok as a platform is because I can build relationships with realtors. So that's part of the reason why I do that. I have sponsored agents from TikTok, definitely. Nice. I do have an audience of people that know me. It's probably the quickest way for people to get to know me, because you can consume content at a rapid rate on TikTok. That's part of the reason that I like it. But honestly, it's back to the basics. So if, you know, as far as lead generation and conversions and results, I would say like 90% of my business comes organically through my social media platforms, because I've taken my sphere of influence of people I know, which is basic sales. Keep in touch with the people you know. I've taken my sphere of influence and I've cross-checked that sphere of influence on every single platform. And then I create content on TikTok and put it on every single platform, so that I don't have to pick up the phone and make hard cold calls all the time, or not cold calls, but like always be constantly in touch with these people by phone. The old fashioned way takes a lot longer. I still do that probably once a year, but people come to me now consistently, organically, because I'm always top of mind. And when I post in the story or on Reels, you know, you're not in people's face. They just see you every so often. And at any given time, they can look at any of my social profiles and see, what is Chris talking about today? So that the result has been organic lead generation from the people that I know on a consistent, regular basis, without me having to constantly grind it out making phone calls.
And I guess when you do change shirt on the videos, they'll be surprised and they want to hear more.
That's right. Once every 20 days. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, so we can get a bit of the type of content that you add there. I had a look through, and I saw there is a series that you talk about the 4 personality styles. Do you remember that one? Yeah. Can you maybe like explain? I know it was a very quick one, right? It's TikTok, it's a quick video, but can you maybe explain them here on the podcast, and why are they important to take into account?
Yes. So one of the most important things when it comes to learning how to communicate better with people is studying the 4 personality styles. And there's a variety of different ways that people explain it. They use animals or birds. Sometimes people use colors. They've got the disc profile. It's all the same 4 personality styles. Everybody fits into one of those 4 categories. And that seemed to be a hit on TikTok because everybody can relate to that. People say I'm more balanced, but everybody is most stronger one than the other. And so the 4 personality styles are the driver, the amiable, the expressive, and the analytical. So the driver is the person who, no beating around the bush. What's your price? What's your commission? Do you think you could sell my house? If so, let's get the ball rolling. And then the amiable says, oh my goodness, we've lived here for 20 years and we love our neighbors. So we want to make sure that whoever moves into this house is going to get along well with the neighbors. And I don't know if you saw the flowers in the back, but we spend a lot of time, care, effort, energy putting those flowers in. And I hope that the next buyer loves our house. And then the expressive personality is the person who shows up with the fur coat or the colored outfit, and they just have it going on. They're a big energy, life of the party. Everybody loves them. They're a lot of fun to be around. And so it's just a matter of, keeping in conversation with them, keep asking good questions, but keeping the conversation going in a direction that gets the desired result for everybody, of course, because you don't want it to get off track. They love to talk. And then you've got the analytical, I'm an analytical person. I love systems. I love facts and figures. I love information. And I'm usually more shy and reserved, introverted. But if I find something that I'm passionate about, that I understand really well, the analytical person, you cannot get them to shut up. And so that's kind of the synopsis on the 4 personality styles. But I encourage anybody that's, in any sort of a leadership role or any communication role in their business or at work, especially in sales, learning the 4 personality styles or anything you can learn about personality styles is an exceptional benefit to you in your career.
Yeah, because from
And
different personality styles, you have to adapt your behavior, adapt your approach, adapt your pitch, so it converts better.
Yeah.
What did you say in Saskatoon? What is the personality that prevails the most?
Yeah, I think there's probably an even average of personalities all across the board. And no matter where you go, you're going to find a variety of personality styles. But there are certain quirks that you'll find with Canadian people. Everybody talks about the weather because we all have that in common, that it is awfully cold here in the wintertime. But personalities, I would say, are generally, it's an even spread. There are certain cultural differences from one area to the next, but it's a pretty even. So learning how to adapt to different people is important. And again, when people that you've known for a long time, I thought my wife was analytical because she takes forever to make a decision when she's shopping. But what I found out is that she's a driver personality. That's why she puts me on the spot and makes me feel uncomfortable. And she lets me know when she's, upset or something, or if she's happy. It's boom, straight to the point. But when she's shopping, she finds something she loves, but now she has to make sure that everything else is not as good. And that is the most frustrating thing for me, because the driver personality makes instant, quick decisions. But if the driver personality has been burnt in the past, they like to make sure to be thorough to make sure that that doesn't happen, because that's one of their downfalls. Where the analytical is the opposite. The analytical has been stuck in analysis paralysis so many times in their life. They're just like, I'm going to go with my gut feel and I want to make a quick decision, because otherwise I'm going to be 6 months making a decision and not get anything done. So that's kind of where opposites, I don't know if they say opposites attract or we complement each other, but it's important just in your family members to find where they fit into the spectrum. It helps you communicate better with the people that you already know.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I was here trying to picture like what type of personality I am.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is really a type of nudge of knowledge that you would share with the TikTok audience, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool, Chris. Looks cool. And yeah, you are one of the leaders at Team Sask, right? You're 4. Can you elucidate to us a bit on how is your day-to-day on managing the team?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Team Sask is a brand used when we originally started EXP here locally. And it was interesting because, we wanted to brand Saskatchewan, Team Saskatchewan, as we were the select team, the team to be at, and we were growing our team across the province. That brand, however, has somewhat faded. And the only reason why is because we have agents in like 5 different provinces and 3 different countries now because, EXP Realty is a borderless real estate company. And so I do have a little bit of a hybrid structured sales team. But my philosophy is to duplicate leadership. So I don't run a traditional real estate model with people that are all full-time on a split basis. I'm constantly trying to teach people how to become an independent solo agent and eventually become their own team leader. So that continues to duplicate throughout my organization. But I guess the long and the short of it is there's more, I would say, coaching than there is management in the way that I run my team, just because I'm trying to inspire leaders, with the people that decide to partner with us, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And yeah, so you said you're on 68 agents at the moment. What has been the strategies behind growing that team? I know you told me you have some from TikTok, but obviously that's not all of them. Like, what have you been doing to raise that number?
The biggest thing is, first, it's basic sales. And when you're talking about agent attraction or recruiting, it's a slightly different skill set than, simply selling houses, as an example. But the same fundamentals are true. You start with the people that you know, and then you reach out to people that you don't know to build relationships. So we started in Saskatchewan. We built across the province of Saskatchewan. And then we had agents that joined in Manitoba. So we're building the EXP across the province of Manitoba. I had a team that joined in Nova Scotia, Eastern Canada. And so we've built across the province there. And then that team has now brought on another group of agents in Newfoundland. So now we're building across the province of Newfoundland. I also have a good buddy of mine that joined our team out in Texas. And then one of my partners in Manitoba has an uncle who's a realtor in Mexico. So we have a partner there. And then I've had some agents that have joined my group from TikTok, in other areas in New York, as well in Florida. And I also have partners now in the neighboring province to the other direction, Alberta. So we're looking at building out EXP in the province of Alberta. And so it just basically, it starts to snowball, and wherever opportunity comes, I find people that want to be successful and I pour value into them. And that just sort of takes care of itself. And we've seen that happen, in every location that we've opened. We've seen people grow just because, I'm dedicated to helping them succeed. And honestly, that's probably the most fulfilling part of what I do. It's not just the compensation, it's the collaboration. So.
And yeah, when in the beginning, when you're talking all these locations in Canada, I was like, okay, I never heard of any of them. But yeah, like when you talk about EXP as being borderless, I think there's still a factor of location to take into account. Like when you said you want to reach into this province, this other province, and sometimes people forget that it can be very important and have a higher relevance. Relevance. Like imagine in Alberta, you're starting a team there. Like imagine like if you do a trip there as the leader of the team, like look at the impact that has. As for having one realtor in New York and another in Florida, like doesn't have the same impact as that.
Yeah, the big thing is it really doesn't matter what the geography is for somebody that decides to join our group. If they have the interest and desire in becoming a leader in this company, I'll travel to help them build it in their local market. 100% no problem. And we have systems in place that are working in any market. And so much of this happens online that it's really amazing to see what you can do. Well, I mean, just like this on Zoom, and in EXP World is an exceptional platform that we have access to. And as well as, speaking of tools, the suite of tools that we have access to at EXP is exceptional and amazing in itself. So it just, I don't know, it gives you opportunities that you just wouldn't that. It's really, really exciting.
Oh yeah. And so tell me, Chris, like, where do you go from here? What are your goals? I know you are we are mid 2022 at the moment. So maybe you can talk about your goals for the remaining of the year and maybe a bit more long term.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's really great. So basically, I do have a transaction. I do have a number of agents to help with my transactions now and my customer service. So I'm splitting a lot of my deals. So for me to hit Icon is going to be a fun challenge for the next upcoming months. So that's a short-term goal of mine, is to make sure that I still hit Icon in spite. So I'm gonna have to double my production and share out more of the deals, which is really exciting. And then again, the difference of an analytical person and a driver, I'm like, honey, look at the dream. I'm in 12 to 18 months, we're going to be totally financially free. And she says, honey, shut up and show me your bank statement. She's kind of just like, what's going on today? And so like, but on that, it is crazy to think that in 12 to 18 months, I'll be totally financially free as a result of the revenue share plan at EXP, meaning the passive income and the override commissions from revenue share at EXP is going to cover all of my personal and business expenses, which is incredible in that projected, based on the rate of growth that we're at currently. But what's most exciting about that is I'm seeing a large number of the agents in my organization that are starting to hit those milestones that I did a year and a half ago, which is exciting for me, because once you have the money to develop the lifestyle that you want, the money doesn't matter anymore. It's now what are the parts of what you do that are fulfilling to you? And for me, it's looking to be able to help as many people as I possibly can to do the same thing.
And okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were going to continue. And yeah, so you have the plan to be on from 12 to 18 months financially free, but of course after that, like, you continue on growing the team and keep on selling houses.
Oh yeah. So but the point is, from that point forward, is how many people can you help? It's no longer like a grind. It's no longer are you striving to get out of the rat race. It just then becomes, how can I best serve the people that are in my life, essentially.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's very kind. So tell us, Chris, how can our audience reach out to you?
Well, tell you what, follow me on TikTok, at Chris the Real Estate Guy on TikTok. And I mean, my link tree is on there. You can follow me on any platform that you want, but send me a message, send me a Facebook message, look me up. Happy to connect, happy to chat. And yeah, just I'm happy to be a part of this. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure. Thanks for bringing a bit of a Saskatoon perspective. I don't think we've talked much about TikTok yet, so thank you for bringing that up as well. And yeah, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You bet.
Thank you, Chris. Have a good one.
You too.